Good evening, children. Today's video is on Unit 11, Numbers. It's a pretty simple lesson. It deals mostly with changing from the singular to the plural. And you all know what is singular when it is one noun. And when there are more than one, we call it plural. Okay? And here, a singular noun changes its spelling when it is in the plural form. Okay, and a singular noun is followed by a singular verb. A plural noun is followed by a plural verb. Similarly, a singular pronoun is followed by a singular verb, and a plural pronoun is followed by a plural verb. What are singular nouns? What are plural nouns? What are plural pronouns, singular pronouns, and plural verbs and singular verbs? Let's find out by going into the lesson right away. Okay, so I'm going to start presenting now, and here we go. So we go to number. All right. Okay. So here we go right down to the basics. You already know this really well. You know what a noun is? A noun is a naming word. And a naming word basically gives a name to a person, a place, an animal, thing, a feeling, or an idea. Okay, so let's see the different kinds of nouns there are. Okay, with the examples below. So here we have nouns and we have person, place, animal, thing, feeling, or idea. And underneath that, there are given a lot of examples. So we have persons, which are names given to people like Mary, Aryan, Zainab, okay, Mrs. Rao, Miss Leah. And of course, you have person can also be like a teacher, a plumber, a gardener, a friend, okay, a relative, a cousin. All these are persons. All right. And then you have place, of course, like the park is a place, Japan, okay, the beach, jungle, Nehru Nagar, an area, basically a place. Then you have India, a country, a zoo. Then among animals, of course, there are loads and loads of them. You have tiger, hen, ant, shark, snake, frog, lion. And then under thing, you have all non-living things, which come under things. So basically cup, phone, room, book, sand, fire, water. The last three are uncountable nouns, which you cannot count. The first four are countable nouns, which you can count one by one. Okay? All right? And then you have feelings, emotions that you have inside you, feelings of love, hate, anger, jealousy. Then you have feelings of what else? Fear, joy, happiness, excitement, despair. Despair is when you really, really feel like you have no hope at all. Okay, so these are very strong emotions or feelings. So that these words are also nouns. And then, of course, you have ideas or concepts like the idea of liberty, freedom. Okay, many of these ideas are basically abstract nouns. Okay, so you have justice, liberty, freedom. Then you have like equality, where that everyone is equal. And then you have racism, which is a term given when people discriminate against others based on the color of their skin, religion, and so forth. Okay, and then you have democracy. Okay, you have friendship. All these are concepts or ideas. So now you know exactly what a noun is. I mean, you already knew it. It's just like a recap. Okay, so what is a sentence? A sentence you already learned. See, basically we are just going through everything that you already learned. Okay, so you have the sound base on which you're going to do the chapter unit 11 on numbers. So what is a sentence? A sentence is a group of words, okay, which make complete sense or express a complete thought. They start with a capital letter and they end with a full stop. Or, depending on the kind of sentence it is, they may end with a question mark or an exclamation mark. Okay, a punctuation mark. That's what we call it. And a sentence always has a subject and a verb in it. So right now we are going to be concentrating on subject. You all know what a subject is. A subject is the doer of an action, the person or thing on which the sentence is focused. Okay? So the doer of the action, the person who's done the action, is the subject in a sentence. Okay? So for this lesson, we are going to focus on the subject only. Okay? We'll do a little bit of focusing on the verb as well, because it is connected. Okay? But right now it's only going to be focusing on the subject in a sentence. A subject can only be a noun phrase, or a pronoun. Now, noun, is a word, a naming word. Now, when you take a naming word, like for example, a tree, okay, and you add something about the tree, a description about the tree, like the tall tree is in the corner of the garden. So in this case, the subject is the tall tree. Okay, here the tree is the noun, but the tall is describing the noun. So the tall tree becomes a noun phrase. All right. And of course, you know what pronouns are. Pronouns, there are so many of them, but the subject pronouns are always I, you, he, she, it, we, you all, and they. All right. That's all you need to know about the subject pronouns. All right. So a subject in a sentence can be a noun, noun phrase, or a pronoun. You know that. We just went over it. So let's look at this sentence. Okay? The man drove a car. Here the subject of the sentence is the man. The verb is drove, right? Now, this is to explain to you what a noun phrase is. Now look at the subject again. We've added a few descriptions to the noun man. The tall, lean man drove a car. So in this case, the subject is the noun along with the description of the noun. So that becomes a noun phrase. So in this case, the noun phrase is the subject and drove a car. Okay, the noun phrase is treated as a subject in this. The noun along with the description. So he drove a car is the pronoun which takes the place of the noun, the tall, lean man or the man. Understood? A sentence can have a singular subject or it can have a plural subject. When we're talking about one thing, the man drove a car, or we're talking about many, the men drove a car. Okay, for example. So the subject can be one person or it can be many people or one thing or many things. All right. So today's lesson is all about singular and plural nouns and singular and plural pronouns. Okay. So a noun that stands for only one person, place, or thing is said to be in the singular number, like a cat, the dog, a bottle, the school, the road, the sky. Okay, everything is one. All right, these nouns are in the singular number. Now you look at pronouns. Okay, pronouns which are in the singular number will be I, which is, I'm talking only about one person, I, you, only one person, you, or one person, he, or she, or it. All these are singular pronouns. Okay, now let's take a look at singular nouns at the here on this slide. Table, one table. Girl, boy, man, woman, child, foot, and zoo. Okay, so now let's see what is a plural noun. Okay, a noun which stands for more than one person, place, or thing is said to be in the plural number. Okay, the number is plural. Okay, so the same thing, table becomes tables, girl becomes girls, boy becomes boys, man becomes men, woman becomes women, child becomes children, a foot becomes feet, Zoo becomes zoos. All right? So now I have loads and loads of examples with some very charming pictures which I took off the internet to make it more colorful and more interesting for you, since I know you all love colorful pictures. Okay, so here we have a singular number. This is just one egg. So egg, eggs, cat, cats. So many different types of cats here. So if you've noticed that in the singular number, okay, these nouns are ending with consonants. I have just added an S, okay, to change it into the plural, okay, but it's not the same rule. Every single noun has a specific rule which you use to change it into its plural number, okay. In these two examples, you have just added an S to the singular number and changed it into the plural number. All right, so you have egg, eggs, cat, cats. A flower, flowers. One flower, many flowers. One apple, many apples. Again, we've just added an S to make it into the plural number, right? Fish. Now, when you change the singular noun fish to a plural number, you can do it in two ways. You can just, it stays the same. There are many fish in the sea, or you can say there are many fishes. Okay, it can be used both ways. It is perfectly correct. So here to fish you add es. Now es is another way in which you change from the singular number to the plural number. Okay, then you have boy. You just add an s and change it to boys. Okay, plural number. So I hope you like the colorful pictures. It always takes me a little bit of time to find them, but whatever looks nice to my eyes, I always choose those, and I love these. And then of course you have the cute mouse on the left, singular number, but it's not mouses, okay? It's mice, many mice. So this is to tell you that the singular number, when you're changing it into the plural number, it doesn't always have to just have an S added to it or an ES, okay? Sometimes between the M and the E, certain things change, like in this case, and it is changed into the plural number. It has a completely different spelling. Now you have foot. Now you see between F and T, O has changed to EE. Okay, so this is another way of changing from the singular into the plural. The words in between change, the letters change and change it into the plural number. So 1 foot, many feet. Okay, I kind of like the mice. I think the rats are the ones which look kind of evil a little bit and scary. But mice look really pretty cute actually. So innocent. Okay, so now we have a fox. Fox, singular number. Now here we have added es to change it into the plural. So fox, foxes, right? A mama and her cub. And then you have brush. This word ends with sh. So any word that ends with sh or ends with x, you must add es at the end to change it into its plural number. So brush, brushes. Baby, babies. Now see, baby ends with a Y. Now you have to remove the Y and just add IES to make it into the plural number. So baby and babies, they're so cute. They are really so cute, aren't they? Then you have a knife. Words ending with FE, okay, like knife. When you want to change it into the plural number, we remove FE and add VES. So when you change numbers from the singular to the plural, you'll find that there is a pattern, okay? Words which end with F, words which end with a consonant, words which end with a Y, all of them have specific rules to change them from a singular number into the plural. And that will come by reading more and by practicing. Okay? So now you see tomato, tomato. In British English, we say tomato, In American English, we say tomato. Now, I've got very used to saying tomato, even though I speak more with the British style, not exactly British English. My English is more Indian British English because we follow the British rules, right? So, tomato ends with an O, and most of singular nouns which end with an O, to change it into their plural number, we add an ES to the end. So, tomato, tomatoes. Okay? Mosquito, mosquitoes. Now, looking at that mosquito really close, it kind of freaks me out a little bit because do you know each time I go into the garden, I mean, there is always a mosquito who finds me and is feasting on me. And even if I kind of do that to blow it away, it's stuck to me and it's like sucking all my blood out. They're ghastly creatures. So, mosquito, you add ES to the end. All right? Now you take a tooth. All right? One tooth. The plural, or when you change tooth into the plural number, you just add two e's. Like you have t and th, you have two o's, you just remove those two o's and put two e's. So these words which completely change their spelling, usually the spelling changes inside between the first and the last letter, if you've noticed. One tooth, many teeth. One woman, in words which end with an, usually you change it into the plural by adding en. So woman, women. Okay? Don't say woman, it's wrong. Woman, it's not woman, it's woman, women. Okay? That's how you say it. Singular is woman and the plural is women. We've added an en. Okay? Sheep. Now there are certain nouns, the singular is, it's called by a name in the singular number, but in the plural the name remains the same. You don't add anything, you don't change anything. So look at these: one sheep, many sheep. One deer, many deer. Remember this, children, there are not many of these, but there are quite a few. So it's good if you know it. You never ever get mixed up with it again, like why is it written without an S? Once you learn these, okay? Sheep, sheep, deer, deer, okay? And there are also some others like aircraft. You don't say aircrafts, you say aircraft. Salmon is a type of fish. One salmon, many salmon. Bison is a type of buffalo, which you find in Africa. Bison, bison, okay? Many bison. Moose is a type of deer. It's got really big antlers. They're really majestic to look at. One moose, many moose. You don't say meese. Okay? Boar, wild pigs. In the plural stays boar. Shrimp is basically prawns. Shrimp, shrimp. So you must have noticed that the spellings are different in the singular form and in the plural form, except for a few, like which have been given below, and of course sheep and deer. Okay? Now, there are different ways in which we can form the plurals of nouns. Now, we're just going to go through the rules. It's in a tabular, in a column. So you might want to just revise over it and you'll see what I mean. So we can change from the singular form to the plural form, okay, by adding S, ES, IES, VES, or N, like in woman, we remove the AN and add EN. And for man, we remove the an and add en. Man, men, woman, women. Okay. Child, we add ren. Okay. Children. So let's see how this is done by looking at a load of examples. Okay. I love doing this. Loads of examples. So most nouns form their plural by adding s to the singular. Now you can see on the left hand side are all the singular forms, and on the right hand side are all the plural forms, which we made into the plural forms just by adding an s. Bird, birds. Hand, hands. Rose, roses. Eye, eyes. House, houses. School, schools. And friend, friends. Now on the right hand column you'll see nouns ending with s, or ss, or x, ch, or sh. Like in brush, you saw brush, brushes. We've added es. They form their plural by adding es to the singular. Okay, so you have dress, two S's. Dresses, we add just an ES. Similarly, gas, gases. Watch ends with CH, so we add ES, watches. Box ends with an X, boxes, foxes. Okay, brush ends with SH, brushes, we add ES. Church, CH, so churches. Fox, foxes. Okay, so nouns which end with Y. Now there's a special rule. If the noun ends with a Y, but before the Y you have a consonant which could be B, C, D, F, G, H, J, K, L, M, N, P, Q, R, S, T, V, W, X, Y, Z. Any of these letters come there before the Y, they are consonants, so you will remove the Y in these case and just add I, E, S. Okay, so baby, remove the Y and add IES, and baby changes from the singular to its plural form. Army, armies. City, cities. Fly, remove the Y and add IES, flies. Pony, ponies. Lady, ladies. Family, remove the Y and add IES in its place. Okay, so some nouns. Now this is the opposite, another rule. Now the words also end with Y, but if you notice these letters, the Y, before it is a vowel. So in this case, it is treated just like any other noun where you add S. So boy, you just add an S in the plural form. So boy, boys. Monkey, Y has an E before it, which is a vowel. Okay, so monkeys. Key, keys. Valley, valleys. Essay, Y has a before it. So essays, day, days, tray, trays. Understood? It's pretty simple, right? When you put it side by side, you know the way to change singular form into the plural form if it ends with a Y. All right? So nouns ending with F or FE. How do you change these singular forms into the plural forms? It's really, really simple. Words ending with FE, you remove the FE and add VES in its place. Now let's see the example. Okay, now here we are having examples of both F and FE. So the first one is an example of F. If it ends with an F, you just remove the F and add VES. If it ends with an FE, remove the FE and add VES. So calf, remove the F and add VES. So it's calves. Knife, remove the FE and add VES, knives. Wife, wives. Leaf ends with an F, remove the F and add VES, leaves. Half, halves. Life, lives. Thief, thieves. Okay, but then you have some exceptions, as you always have in the English language. Now, the exceptions are in these words. There are not many words which have exceptions where they end with F, but we treat them like any other noun where you just add an S. So these words are chief, chiefs. We do not remove the F and add VES, we just add an S. Roof, roofs. Gulf, gulfs. Cliff, when they end with two Fs, usually we always add an S. That's the rule. So cliff, cliffs. Handcuffs, two Fs. So just add an S. Giraffe ends with an FE, but still they are treated as any other noun where you just add an S to change it into the plural number. Sheriff, sheriffs. Okay, it's law enforcement officer. Sheriff. Two F's, just add an S, right? Okay, now you have compound nouns where the noun is made up of a group of words. Like in these cases on the left hand side, you have basically relations where they're either created through marriage. Okay, so in this case, we have father in law, mother in law, a passerby, stepson, a governor general, which is a title. Then you have son in law, you have manservant. Okay, these are compound words and they are separated, the words are separated with by hyphens, as you've noticed. Now, how do we change such words into the plural form? It is super simple. Okay, now father in law, we say fathers in law. Mother in law, mothers in law. Only the first word you add an S. Passerby, passers by. Stepson is different. You don't say steps son because son is the noun. Okay, so step sons, step daughters, okay, or stepmothers. Okay, basically, the noun is an s is added to it, like mother-in-law. Mother is the noun, so you said mothers-in-law, fathers-in-law, stepsons, stepdaughters, passers-by. Okay, governor general become governors general. It's a title. Then you have son in law becomes sons in law, daughters in law, mothers in law. Understood? And then you have manservant become men servants. Man becomes men, servant has an S added to it to make it into the plural form. Understood, children? Okay. Now, you have some words which are always treated as singular. Okay, now you think if you talk about in a room there are chairs, there are sofas, there are tables, we all refer to it as furniture. Okay, it may consist of a lot of different pieces of uh, like furniture, like basically chairs, tables, chairs, tables, what do you call it? Side tables, okay? But all of them are referred to as with one name, we call it furniture. But even though so many of it make up furniture, we always refer to it as a singular noun. So just like we say an apple is a fruit, same way furniture. The furniture is expansive, okay? Or the furniture is new, treated like a singular noun. Okay, scenery. When you're passing by on a train, every time there are so many things around you which is perceived as a landscape or a scenery. Okay, you always refer to as scenery even though you're seeing so many things as the train is passing, but it is also referred to as a singular noun. For example, the scenery is beautiful. We don't say the scenery are beautiful. No, 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 no. Okay, the news. The word news ends with an S, but it is a singular noun. So you say the news is on the television right now. The news is disturbing. The news is fantastic. So you refer to it as a singular noun. Cattle is referred to as a plural noun. You don't say the cattle is grazing, you say the cattle are grazing because cattle is made up of a number of cows or goats or sheep or whatever referred to as cattle. Okay? So cattle are plural form. Okay? Trousers. When you wear trousers, my trousers are missing. My trousers are torn. It is not treated as a singular noun at all. The ones in blue are singular nouns. The ones in red are treated as plural nouns. Understood? Now you have people. The people are hungry. The people are upset. The people are voting. Okay? Clothes are drying outside. The clothes are dirty. Okay, so clothes are treated as a plural noun. Scissors are sharp. You don't never say scissors is sharp. The scissors are sharp, and they also end with an S. Treated as a plural noun, which means the verb that follows is it should be a plural verb. Is a singular verb used for singular nouns. Are is a plural verb used for plural nouns. Okay, luggage is in the waiting room. Knowledge is power. Knowledge is power. Dust is accumulating all over the place. Is singular verb. Information is precious. Information is precious. Singular verb. Homework homework is difficult. Is difficult. You never say the homework are difficult, right? Homework is difficult because homework is treated as a singular noun. Okay? Advice. Your advice is very helpful. Is very helpful. Advice is treated as a singular noun followed by a singular verb. Is, am, okay, are singular verbs. Even are, you are, but in the first, second and third person plural you will only use are. We are, you all are, and they are, right? Okay, now nouns ending with o form their plural by adding es. So you have buffalo, buffaloes. You add es after the o. Tomato, tomatoes. Mango, mangoes. Hero, heroes. Zero, zeros. Volcano, volcanoes. Mosquito, mosquitoes. You got that? It's pretty simple, right? Except for the few exceptions that you always get in English. You must remember that if you follow the basic rules, you're almost always going to be right. And of course, you have to learn the exceptions. Okay? Now you have, for some nouns, the inside vowels change in the plural form. Like I told you, foot, F-O-O-T. So you take the first letter and the last letter, and inside it something changes. We remove the two O's and we add two E's. So foot, feet. Now tooth, O-O is changed to E-E. That's the only thing that's been changed. Tooth, tooth. Goose, geese. Woman, words ending with an change into en. So we just changed one in the end. Okay, we just changed the e from a. It's been changed to e. Woman, women. Louse, now louse. One louse, one lice. Many lice. One mouse, many mouse. One house, heis, not really. Houses. Okay, so English is sometimes you have to learn certain things. Okay. Man, men. We remove the a and we put an e and we change it from the singular number to the plural number, right? Okay, now certain words which don't change in the singular or the plural, we've already gone over it, but we'll just revise. Moose, moose. One moose, many moose. Deer, deer. Sheep, sheep. Aircraft, aircraft. 1 dozen, 2 dozen, 3 dozen, 4 dozen. Dozen remains the same. It means 12. When you say 2 dozen, it means 24, but we don't say 2 dozens. We say 2 dozen eggs, 3 dozen, 3 dozen apples, for example. One boar, many boar. Apparatus is what is used when you're doing chemistry and when you're doing these experiments. Whatever you use to do these experiments are called apparatus. Okay, so it's a set of apparatus, many sets of apparatus, it remains the same. So now you must remember certain things when we're talking about singular nouns and the plural forms of nouns. All right. The subject and verb are the most important elements of a sentence because that's what makes a sentence a complete sentence anyway. It has to have a subject in it and has to have a verb in it. The verb of a sentence must be in agreement with the subject in regard to person. When you see the first person, second person, third person, singular, the first person, second person, third person, plural, and then the number, whether it's singular or plural. Okay, you have to first see that. That's the subject. It can be personal pronouns of the first, second, third person singular, or the first person, second person, third person plural. Okay, you must know that. All right, so the person of the subject can be in the first person, second person, and third, and the verb changes according to the number and the person or the of the subject. Okay, so now this is really, really important. Okay, very important. And so when you're changing a whole sentence from the singular to the plural form, you will understand why the verb must agree with the subject. Okay, otherwise it will sound really wrong. Okay, so the number of the subject can be singular in a sentence or it can be plural. The verb must be singular if the subject is singular, and the verb must be a plural verb if the subject is plural. Okay, this is really, really important. Okay, so the dog has a bone. Now, here we're taking the verb to have. Okay, now you know the subject pronouns are I have, you have, he, she, or it has. This is all. I, you, and he, she, it are singular pronouns. Okay. Now, I is a first person singular, you is the second person singular, and he, she, or it is the third person singular. So in this case, you say I have, you have, but he, she, or it has. So when you come up with something like the dog, now do dog will come if the pronoun for the dog will be it, right? So we'll, another way of saying is it has a bone. So now you know you cannot say it have a bone. You cannot say if you're talking about the dogs, you cannot say the dogs has a bone. So if it is a singular subject like the dog, you always say has a bone because singular subject has to have a singular verb following it. So the dog is a singular subject and has is a singular verb. Okay, so the dog has a bone. Now let's change the subject and make it plural. So the dogs, the dogs. Now have is a plural verb. Okay, if you take this the first person plural, that is we, me and somebody else. The second person plural is you all, and the third person plural is they. So we have, you all have, and they have. Okay, so a plural a subject will always have because the dogs have a bone or they have a bone, right? So a plural subject will have a plural verb. Okay, as you can see in this particular sentence. So always remember, singular subject will have a singular a verb, a plural subject will have a plural verb. Has is a singular verb for the third person singular, which is he, she, or it. The dog is referred to as it. So it has a bone, or the dog has a bone. The dogs have a bone, or they have a bone. I hope this is pretty clear. Now, be verbs. Be verbs are all verbs which show a state in which you are. I am. I is a singular pronoun of the first person, singular, okay? You, I is basically the person who's doing the talking. So just when I'm talking about just me, I, first person singular. You, just you, second person singular. Then if I, that is the person whom I'm speaking to. Now if we both are speaking about somebody like he, she, or it, they are the third person singular. He is just one, she is just one, it is just one, right? Now that is all the singular pronouns. Now let's go to plural pronouns. Now let's say people who are doing the talking could be me with somebody else, we. So we is the first person plural. You all, second person plural. It's not just you. It's you with many other people. You all, second person plural. And he, she, and it, many of them will be third person plural, which will be they. Many people we refer, when we talk about them, we refer to them as they, right? And all these, I, you, he, she, it, we, you all, and they are all subject pronouns. The first three, I, you, and he, she, it, are singular subject pronouns or singular pronouns. And then you have we, you, all, and they, which are plural subject pronouns or plural pronouns. Understood, children? Okay, so this is very useful. For the singular subject pronouns, you will use singular verbs, and for the plural subject pronouns, you will use plural verbs. But it takes practice to know how and which other plural verbs. Okay, but you'll get the hang of it. You have to practice. In grammar, believe me, you have to practice. It's great if you understand the concept, but always keep reading, always keep practicing, especially for all of us, English is our second language. And to really become good at any language, you have to practice it. It's like maths. You want to become really great at maths, it's not just enough to understand the concept. You have to practice your sums, right? So, if the subjects are a third person singular number, the verbs with S and ES when they're in simple present, that I've already taught you. For example, I walk, you walk, but he, she, or it walks. So in the simple present, okay, which is an action which is happens now, we always add an S to the verb when it is in the third person singular, which means he, she, or it the form of the verb will always change in the simple present. I walk, you walk, he, she, or it walks, we walk, you all walk, and they walk. Okay? All right? And then, like, but in the past tense, for example, walked is the past tense of walk. So, a walk. So, you say, I walked, you walked, he, she, or it walked, then we walked, you all walked, and they walked. So as you can see, the form of the verb walk does not change even if the subject changes. So this is must remember this. In the past tense, the form does not change even if the subject changes, but in the simple present, for example, I jump. I jump, you jump, but he, she, or it jumps. We jump, you all jump, and they jump. So, supposing I say Ravi and Meena, okay, Ravi jumps over the fence, but Ravi and Meena jump over the fence because are they come under the category of they, right? So they jump. But Meena jumps, Ravi jumps, their dog jumps, he, she, or it jumps. Okay, so when you see the different examples, you will understand what I mean. All right, so now let's just look at these tabular columns. You have person or number, which is basically the first person singular, second first person singular, then you have the second person singular, third person singular in the middle column, and you have the first person plural, second person plural, and the third person plural. So first person singular is I, okay? First person plural is we. These are the people who are doing the talking. I am doing the talking. If I'm with somebody, we are doing the talking, it is plural. So that is the first person plural. Okay, now let's go to the second person singular. You, the person who's being spoken to. Okay, so you are the second person singular. Okay, but when I talk to you all, you are the second person plural. It's not just one person I'm talking to many people. So you all is the second person plural. Okay, now you have the third person singular is he, she, or it, the people who are being spoken about. When we talk about anybody, supposing it's a boy, we refer to them as he. If it's a girl, we refer to them as she. If it is a thing or an animal, we refer to it as it, right? So this is the third person singular when only one thing is referred to or spoken about at a time. But when we're speaking about, let's say, many girls or many boys or many animals or many things, we refer to them as they, right? So they are the third person plural. Okay, he, she, or it is a third person singular, and they are the third person plural. Okay, so now you know the difference between the subjects and their numbers. Okay, I mean, I'm talking about whether it's singular or plural pronouns. Okay, plural pronouns. All right, now you take the verb to be. Okay, all right, it's a state of being. So supposing you want to say I, this is the first person singular. I am happy. I am. It's a state of how I am. I am happy. First person singular. Okay. So I am here an excellent tennis player. Now, plural. Okay. Plural is the first person plural. We. We are excellent players. Are is the plural verb. Am is a singular verb. Am is only used when you're talking about I. I am. You cannot say he am or you am. It can only be the first person singular. I am. The first person plural is we. We are. Now let's go to the second person. Second person singular will be you, the person who I'm speaking to. You are and you all are. Nothing changes. Now let's go to the third person singular, which is he, she, or it. Am, no. He, she, or it are, no. He, she, or it is. Is the singular verb in this case. But now when you speak about the third person plural, we say they are. So you must know this really well. I am, you are, he is, she is, it is. Okay? And then we are, you all are, and they are. Right? So, we are excellent tennis players. You all are nice people. They play football. Now, see, remember what I told you in the singular, like he, she, or it. You'll say he plays, she plays, it plays when there is only one subject. Okay, but in the plural, you will change it to are. Okay, because you will say they. We're talking about a group of people now. About. So they are football. They what? Ravi plays football. He plays football. Ravi and somebody, okay, play football. Okay, when it becomes plural. Okay, or they play football. Okay, he is a good player. They are good players. You understand? So is a singular verb. Are is a plural verb. Now, changing it to the simple past. Is becomes was in the singular. In the plural, it becomes were. I was, you were, but there's again a difference. You will always be followed by were in the singular, and it'll be followed by were in the plural, just like you are, you all are. You were and you all were. You must remember these rules. So I was, you were, he, she, or it was. Okay. Then we have we were, you all were, and they were. Okay, so was and were where it is being used. You must remember that, and I'll show you with sentences. I was hungry. All right, we were hungry. We is the plural form. Okay, we were hungry. We'll use a plural verb with it. We were hungry. You were very quiet. You all were very quiet. He was very excited, or Maya was very excited about the match. They were very excited. She was tired after the event. They were tired after the event. He was upset. They were upset. So you see what I mean? Singular verbs with singular subjects and plural verbs with plural subjects. Was is with singular and were is usually with plural except with you. You were, you were, and you all were. Okay? Now, when the subject of a sentence changes from the singular to the plural, the predicate of the sentence must change as well, obviously. If you have a singular subject, for example, the man is running, okay? The man is the subject, is running is the predicate, right? But now supposing we say the men, we cannot say the men is running. The predicate has to change, which means the plural verb has to be added. So the men were running. Understood? So the wolf comes here at night. The wolf is singular. It is followed by a singular verb comes. The wolf comes here at night. The wolves come here at night. Come is the plural verb. Okay. The child has many toys. The children have many toys. So as you can see, the child is the subject, the predicate is has many toys, the children becomes the subject, which is a plural subject, and the predicate changes because the verb becomes a plural verb. Has becomes have. The child has many toys, the children have many toys. Understood? Okay, the form of the verb in the simple past remains the same even if the person number changes. So, for example, when you change into the simple past, you already know that when it's in the past tense, even if the subject changes, the verb will remain the same. It will remain the same. So, the wolf came here at night. The wolves came here at night. The child had many toys. The children had many toys. Nothing changes in the past tense. That's a rule and a nice because it's very consistent and it always is the case. Okay. Now with lots of pictures. Okay. And I'm sure you'll kind of like it. The dog has a bone. Singular subject, singular verb. The dog has a bone. But when you change it and make it the dogs, the predicate changes. The dogs have a bone. And all these dogs seem to love their bones, just like mine, Gypsy, Romy, and Cody love their bones. They love their bones. Okay, I cannot say they loves their bones. They love their bones. Now, to have. Okay, have, the verb to have is I have, you have, he, she, or it has, we have, you all have, and they have. Understood? Okay, so I, the first person singular, you use have. In the second person singular, you use have. But in the third person singular, you use has. And in the first, second, and third person plural, you use have. Remember this, children, it's a rule. So I have a very large family. We have large families. So you know that in the third person plural, that is, I'm talking about the first, second, and third person plural, we will use have only. So we, you all, and they are third person plural. So we have large families, you all have lovely houses, they have new cycles, they have been to China, but see the singular. I have a large family, you have a lovely house, but he, she, or it has a new cycle. See, Sheena has a new cycle. She has been to China, so you can see where has is used and where have is used. So only for he, she, or it you will use has. But for all the other persons, the singular first person singular, the second person singular, and the third person plural. First person, second person, third person, plural, you will use have. So, again in the past tense, nothing changes. I had a lovely breakfast. We had a lovely breakfast. You had an exciting holiday. You all had an exciting holiday. Sheena had many friends. They had many friends. She had an apple for lunch. They had apples for lunch. Had remains the same regardless of the subject. Now, things to remember. Certain nouns are always treated as singular nouns, like I told you. Furniture is made of oak wood. It's treated as one word, singular word, even though it may have many pieces of furniture in it, like tables, chairs, side tables, okay? But furniture is considered to be a singular noun. The dog is, the furniture is made of teak wood. The scenery is beautiful. The news is frightening. His knowledge was, now it's just changing it into the past tense. His knowledge was impressive. The luggage is packed. The dust is all over the place. Your advice is helpful. All these words in blue are nouns which are always singular nouns. Okay? Certain nouns are always treated as plural nouns, like trousers or pants. My pants are torn. My trousers are torn. So your trousers are made of cotton. Plural verb is being used. The are is a plural verb. Okay. Your trousers are made of cotton. The scissors are sharp. The cattle are grazing in the field. The people were. Was is for singular nouns. Were is for plural nouns, right? So my clothes are in the washing machine. The ruins are breathtaking. Ruins meaning, old buildings which are broken down, which are really ancient, can look beautiful. It doesn't have to be a modern building to look beautiful, right? So change the following sentences. This is just practice. It's almost the end of the video presentation. So just let's practice. So the baby is smiling. Now is smiling. Is a helping verb here. Smiling is the main verb. It is in the present continuous form. The baby is smiling, so change it into the plural. The babies are smiling, right? The babies are smiling. when you change it into the plural. So now I might give you a sentence in the singular and ask you to change the sentence completely into the plural. So in that case, you must know the verb also has to change from a singular verb to a plural verb. Here, is smiling is in the singular, basically present continuous. You change it into the plural verb, which means is changes to are. The main verb remains the same. The baby is smiling. The babies are smiling. Okay? The child plays in the sandbox. Plays is a singular verb here because a singular subject is used. He or she plays. We're still talking about one subject in the sandbox. Now let's say we take many children. The children play in the sandbox. The children jump in the sandbox. The children cry when they get frightened. The children are happy. Okay, so they play in the sandbox. So play is the plural verb used in the sentence. Mania climbs the tree. She climbs the tree, but they climb trees. S is removed because S is always used when the subject is single in the simple present. Understood? That woman is my aunt. That changes to those when you change it into the plural. That changes to those. That woman is my aunt. Those women are my aunts, are my aunts. So I've changed a sentence from the singular into the plural. I've changed everything. That is changed to those. Woman has changed to women. Is, which is a singular verb, has changed into a plural verb are. My has changed into our. My, okay, and it is when it's more than one, like I with somebody else, like we, becomes our when you change it into the plural. So that woman is my aunt. Those women are our aunts. The tomato is a fruit. Tomatoes is changes to are. Tomato changes to tomatoes. Is changes to are. Fruit changes to fruits. Okay. This lady teaches dancing. This changes to these. That changes to those. So this, these, lady, ladies, teaches becomes teach, dancing. So this lady teaches dancing. Teaches is the singular verb. These ladies teach dancing. Plural verb, and the main verb is remains the same. So teach dancing. Okay, dancing is a verb here. You have two verbs, teach and dancing, right? They teach dancing. So this volcano is active. These volcanoes are active, right? That man works a lot. That man becomes those men. Works a lot becomes work a lot. Okay? I am eating a banana. I becomes we. First person singular becomes first person plural we. We are eating bananas. Right? She broke her foot. What is the plural of she? They. They broke their feet. Her feet becomes their feet. Okay? You have to brush up on your pronouns before you do these, but you already know it. The new knife cuts smoothly. The new knives cut smoothly. The leaf is turning brown. The leaves are turning brown. The helping verb is changes to the helping verb are. So the leaf is turning brown. The leaves are turning brown. Right? Now we just have revision and we are almost through with the lesson, and just let's see if you have understood. Now we're just going to do helping verbs, putting it in the correct place. You have to know which helping verb to use. You know that is a singular verb, are is a plural verb, was is a singular verb in the past, helping verb in the past tense. Were is a plural helping verb in the past tense. Has and have are, has is a singular verb, and have is a plural verb. Okay, so let's see the subjects. According to that, we will do this exercise. Her clothes dash wet. The furniture dash new. The new curtains dash hung yesterday. Maya and I dash hungry a few hours ago. I'm giving you clues in the sentence so you know whether to use present or past. The children dash playing in the garden. He dash many friends. They dash a lot of information. Hari and Pooja dash a big neem tree in their backyard. Okay, so I'm going to give you a little bit of time, a few seconds to just look at the sentences. Her clothes dash wet. Okay, there's no sense of time given here. Okay, her clothes, clothes is always treated as a plural subject. Remember that. It can never be singular. Her clothes. So, can you say is? I'm sure you already got the answer. So let's just go and see if the answers are correct. So I'm going to the next slide. If you've got these correct, then great. Okay. Her clothes. You cannot say her clothes is wet because is a singular verb used for singular noun. Now, clothes are always plural no matter what. So you can only say her clothes are wet. Okay. Or her clothes were wet because were is a plural pronoun. It is always going to be used in a plural way. Okay, so are wet, were wet. If you got any of these, you're absolutely right. The furniture is always treated as a singular noun. So the furniture can only be followed by is or was, right? The furniture is new or was new. If you got this, you have it perfectly right. The new curtains dash hung yesterday. Now you saw the word yesterday, which means it's happened in the past. So you cannot use is or are, right? I mean, or was, okay? Because curtains are in the plural, okay? And this happened in the past. So you have to use was or were. So can you say the curtains was hung yesterday? No. The curtains is a plural subject, so you will use a plural verb, were. Okay? Maya and I. Now, Maya, I. We are joined together by the conjunction and, which makes it a plural subject. It is not one person, it's Maya and myself. So, two, which means it's a plural subject. So, we have to treat it like a plural subject. Dash hungry a few hours ago. So, you know it's in the past. But can you use. Oops. I got a shock. That was pretty scary. All right. I have to kind of gather my composure a little bit. That was pretty scary. I got a shock at the corner of my computer. It's a piece of metal. Okay, so Maya and I, can we say was hungry? We know it happened in the past a few hours ago, so we have a choice of was or were. Okay, was is a singular noun, were is a plural noun. But since Maya is and I is a plural subject, we will choose were. All right. So Maya and I were hungry a few hours ago, and if you got this, you're perfectly right. Okay. He has many friends. Now he dash many friends. He is a singular subject, so we cannot say he was many friends. We have to use the verb has or have. So we cannot say he have because he's singular and have is a plural verb. So he has many friends. Now they is a plural subject, a pronoun subject pronoun. So they dash a lot of information, has or have a lot of information. They have because have is a plural verb. Hari and Pooja are two people, so it's a plural subject. Hari and Pooja dash a big neem tree. Has a big neem tree or have? Has is a singular verb. Have is a plural verb. So we will definitely use have in this sentence. Okay, so children, if you've got these answers, you are perfectly right and you can say that you have understood the lesson. Okay, but like I said, always in grammar, practice makes absolutely perfect. Okay, children, so let's see the next slide. By now, I'm sure that you're an expert at changing nouns, pronouns, and verbs from the singular number to the plural number. Keep practicing and your grammar skills are going to be absolutely awesome. And that I can promise you. Okay? And that's all, folks. I wanted a candy pink for the That's All, folks picture. And I was so lucky to find this. I don't know, it's a pony or something. And I'm sure you all know what it is, but I have no clue. Okay? I'm from the generation of Garfield, and many years ago, they were very popular cartoons about a cat, and I'm sure it is quite popular now, but I haven't really looked at the newspaper, so I'm not sure. I'll leave it for you kids to decide, but this is a magic pony or a candy pony or something. I'm not very sure. Okay, children, so I've finished this lesson, and I'm going to stop sharing now. Okay, and go back to the meat. All right. So I'm actually dying to put the air conditioning on. I'm going to put it on now. Maybe check it out to see if it really alters the background noise. I put it off because I don't want any sound in the background. But I put it on just now. So if there is a background noise and if you find it disturbing, let me know when I meet you next. Okay, so I had a lovely time putting together this video for you. I hope you've understood the lesson and take care of yourselves. Your exams are, I think, right around the corner, so I wish you all the very best of luck. Okay, do well, take care, sleep well, rest well in between your study sessions, and I'm sure you're going to shine in your exams. Good night to all of you. Bye. Mwah. Love you too. I love you.